Welcome to your next step up the self-publishing mountain.
I'm Matilda Swift, author of quintessentially British cozy mysteries.
And I'm Samantha Cummings, author of young adult books about magic, myths and monsters.
I've written the books,
Changed their covers,
tweaked their blurbs,
tried tools from a dozen ads courses.
and I'm still not seeing success.
Now, we're working together to plot and plan our way from barely making ends meet to pulling in a living wage.
Join us on our journey where we'll be mastering the pen to snag that paycheck. Hello and welcome to Pen to Paycheck Authors Podcast. I'm Matilda Swift, here with my co-host Samantha Cummings, and we're here to write our way to financial success. We're two indie authors with over a dozen books between us and still a long way to go towards the quit the day job dream. If that sounds familiar, listen along for our mastery through missteps journey. Each week we cover a topic to help along the way. This week it's our backmatter and read-through. But before we get into that, what are your wins and whinges of the week?
Okay, I'm going to start with whinges. I feel like I can hear my nose whistling, but I don't know if it's me or if it's a pigeon outside. Because I can hear a pigeon, like a wood pigeon, doing its little hoot hoots, and I don't know if that's what I think my nose is. No, I think it is me. So if you hear my nose whistling, apologies. Wins. Let's just go straight for a win. I've had an absolutely fantastic week/weekend. I love the summer. I love hot weather, apart from I have absolutely no energy today because I summered too hard yesterday. But I am just having a great time. I was just saying before we started recording that I'm in such a good routine at the moment and loving the whole process that the thought of going back to work, like my day job, is awful because it's like stealing all of my joy. And and I'm just like I'm loving the idea of just doing this full time. That not doing this tomorrow is very sad, like unbelievably sad, but it's fine because I have had a really good weekend. So I've like lived my best author life this weekend, and I went to a writing an indie authors writing sort of thing to on Saturday, which was yesterday. Yeah, so
sort of thing. This is a surprise.
So I know I didn't tell you. I thought I'll wait to the podcast. So
Didn't invite
one
me.
of my
Bye-bye.
yeah one of my local writer friends that I know, she put together a little book fair on her driveway, and in this weltering sun, and she had some people selling books and somebody selling gin, so like sipping a little bit of gin in the sun, like the tiniest bit, but it was like 60% or something. It was ridiculous. It was so strong. But so I went down to her house, and she lives in like the best area near me. It's like my dream location of living. It's down a tiny lane, and it's just fields, and it's so nice. And I was like, oh yeah, okay, I'll go down there. I'll go to her house and see what's going on. And so there was some other authors, some indie authors there. So I moseyed on up and chatted to them. I made some friends, bought some books, and then had like my tarot read. And I was just saying before, it was like the most brutal tarot reading you could ever have because it was all the truth.
Oh, that's the worst.
All the truth.
Yeah,
all the truth of being told basically that I am working too hard and not having fun anymore. Which I think
is not true, right? I think that's not objectively true, but it's a point you could reach.
Yeah, not true that I'm not having fun, because I'm having so much fun, but I don't allow myself time to have fun outside of this. That's the thing. Yeah. So that's like my life is very like heavy on the writing life and not heavy on the personal life, and that's like something I've been struggling with for a while. So she just displayed all these things and basically told me that all these things that I've been feeling are true. Yes, you don't prioritize yourself. You let your insecurities like push you forwards when you should be like feeling strong in like what you're doing and stuff. So yeah, it was just all that kind of fun stuff.
Sound like positive things. You sound like encouraging, like you deserve to take care of yourself things.
Yes, I didn't take it badly. It's just that it was just very brutally honest. And
can I say my brutally honest version of this was like a tarot reader once told me like you'll just wander forever and never find the place you belong. And I was like, yeah, thanks. And this was at like a ball after I'd been drinking all evening, wearing a ball gown. I was like 19, 20,
feeling amazing,
cuss my life. I was like, and everyone else got a nice one. Like, this person was paid to be here, make us feel happy, and then she was like, your life is just a tragedy waiting to happen. It's like, thanks.
Mine was just like, basically, yes, these two parts of yourself are at war, and you don't have to be like that anymore. But then she gave me like multiple rounds of card reading. So she was like,
Was she
pick
also
some
selling
more.
the gin?
No,
I feel like
she
that's
wasn't.
okay.
No, she wasn't selling
Getting a
anything
kickback.
other than like a very cheap tarot reading. And yeah, she did like multiple readings, picked multiple cards. Some of the same cards kept coming up. She was like, he's in the same spot as well. She was like, this one is the one. This is like your bad programming right here. But then my last like few cards were it was really spooky because it kept coming up with like these two opposing forces basically fighting. And then the last three cards that I got were like two faces facing each other. And then the next one was somebody whose third eye was opening. And then the next one after that was just like a circle, like basically like the sun. So she was like, you see this progression where it's like these two parts of yourself are merging and then you're becoming the one thing. And I was like, this is what a way to end. She was like, no, this is a fantastic way to end.
Yeah.
So it was really brutal. Then at the end it was like, but then happy ending. Here you go.
Yeah.
So yeah,
it's a big task to be getting on with though. Like merging the warring parts of yourself.
Yeah, and I think like because of that, and like I've been doing loads of editing and stuff this weekend. Today has been very like my energy's completely gone because I feel like yesterday I lived the life. I lived my entire life in one day. It was insane. It was so good. And talking to other authors and stuff is so good, but also just like the person who put the thing on, we've been saying for 2 years, like, we need to get a coffee. And she was like, okay, but I know we definitely do need to go and get coffee. So yeah, the ball's rolling with that. The ball's rolling. It's been fun. Yeah. How about you? What are your wins? I've just completely taken over that. What are your wins and whinges?
Well, I'm gonna start with a rant, so don't worry, I'm also gonna take over again. I have spent part of the day talking to the Riddler, aka Amazon Help. Yeah, and it was it's my least favorite thing to do. So I have a box set coming out, right? Which, like, I know technically according to terms of service, it's not meant to call box set, but everyone calls it box set, including big publishers. So I've got a book set label box set on my account already. So I put a set of 3 books on label box set, put the ebook on a couple weeks ago for pre-order, and it got approved, and it's in pre-order now. And then I put a paperback on, changed the cover so it looks like it's going to print as a paperback. So I was like, oh, actually, the book's short enough. I could have 3 books actually printed in one, and that'd be a cool thing to have. And also having it at like the high price, showing the discount to the ebook shows it's like, oh, it's actually quite good value, the ebook. So I put it on, and it kept cycling around and going back into like draft and then back into in review, and it wouldn't finalize. I was like, gosh, what's like? I'd had a friend as well who'd had like a paperback glitch recently, so I was like, oh, maybe I'm just being glitchy. And so I messaged the chat people after putting it off for a few days because I didn't want to do it. So I tried a couple of different things, and so I messaged them today, and they're like, oh, didn't you get the email? And I was like, oh. I thought you hadn't sent me a message, and like dug into my deep emails. It was just like looked like a very generic thing from KDP, and it didn't give a very helpful response. So I was like, actually, I have got it. I've read it now, and I still don't know what it means. And it was one that was just really vague about you, and it gives like it's just a copy of like a terms of service clause, and it's like you have either promised to have like an audiobook, a CD, a collection or something with this. It's like, okay, what is the actual problem? Like, can you pass this for me? And he's like, I will need to pass you to a supervisor. So I got passed to a supervisor. I had the same conversation again, and actually, the supervisor was sort of helpful, but also more riddlery. And so I think it was a woman. So she was like, oh, you can't have the word. No, in fact, she said, please look at this page. Please look at this website page, which is the one that's really, really generic that just says you can't give customers like a bad experience. It's the one that's like the most generic terms of service page. And she's like, have you read this now? And I was like, yeah, I've also read it before. And I was like, which part of it is the problem?
Yeah. Oh, I hate this. I know.
Yeah. And so I went back around this, and she's like, oh, it's these 2 phrases, which I could have told me the first page. She's like, oh, it's the phrase box set and 3 books in one. And so I ignored 3 books in one part because, like, well, it is 3 books in one, so I don't know what your issue with that is. I'll come back to that. But I was like, okay, box set's not acceptable terminology, which, like, I'm aware it's not, so fine if you quote me on this. What's an alternative word I can use? And she's like, oh, we can't tell you. I was like, okay,
my God.
One of yours tells the truth, one of yours tells a lie. Which one is it? I was like, okay. And I was like, can you explain the problem with box set? She's like, oh, it implies something actually going to come with it. It's going to be in a box. I was like, okay, I see that. Then can I use the word collection instead? And she's like, no. It's like, okay. And I was like, what's the reason? And she sends me the link again. She's like, have you read this page? This page says nothing. I was like, okay.
God.
Could you explain the problem with the word collection? And then I'll understand. And then I can't remember what she said. Anyway, we went back and forth on things like this for ages, and I was just like, oh. And I was like, okay, can I try these words or these words? And just like went back and forth and nothing. And then she did something very like cryptic that suggested like, regardless of what the actual words say, we won't approve your book. Because she then sent me like a very long list of like what the formatting has to be like for the interior of the book. So it's like, I think they stopped the book going through on the cover, but they were also going to stop it on the interior anyway. And I was like, you know what? It's not for me right now. I'm just gonna put a little pin in this. Come back to this later. I only decided to do the actual paperback as like a little added extra. I don't need it. And it's like, I will copy and paste this, like the information from the chat, and I'll come back to this when I've got my energy. But that, I was like, I didn't need to be conversing with a Sphinx today. I did not have the energy for that. It is, as you said, very warm. And I was having the best weekend, like living my best life weekend, because my actual win is I took a little writing retreat. And I'm going to say it's literally 2 minutes from my house. I went away for the weekend to like 2 streets away. But bizarrely, the other way you can get to it is through the woods. So, and it's like a beautiful little, because it wasn't like instantly, it is quiet and calm to get into the woods. So I packed a big backpack, but it's just a youth hostel, so it's like a shared dorm. It was like, not that expensive. It was under 100 quid for the whole weekend for like bread and breakfast and a nice place. So I had a little 3-night thing there. So I finished work on Thursday, chucked stuff in a bag, went up the hill, just had such a good weekend. And like part of it, I was annoyed at myself for not working astronomically quickly. Like I set myself really large targets, like literally like read through a book for edits in one day, but I was also sort of editing at the same time. And so it's like I need to get better at being able to give myself reasonable targets. But anyway, I've done so much work over the 3 days, and I read, and I wasn't as distracted as I would be at my house, because I was just up there doing nothing but like reading and writing, and it was delightful. And I came back every day to like feed my cats and do my yoga, and it was just lovely. And like I didn't do any chores around the house because I wasn't there. I didn't do any like bits and pieces. I wasn't messing on my computer, like nothing, because there's nothing I could do. I didn't even have my computer with me, so it was lovely. And it was just, the setting was fantastic, and it was so sunny, and yeah, live my best life. So that was very nice. But then to come back today and have to deal with existential crisis situation where like I'm sure I can read, but can I read, was not ideal. But anyway, I've also started like a little UK ad this week just to test that and see if that would work, and it's gone really well so far, so fantastic. Other wins and whinges, I've probably got some, but I can't remember them all. That's probably enough for now, but it has been a good weekend. I have enjoyed it.
I have also set up some ads. I've started my A/B testing. I think I need to tweak them a little bit because
for your cover tests.
For my cover tests, yeah, like I've set up some videos, but I think I might also set up just some statics, because I think obviously with video play, the cover reveal is at the end, and having people wait to the end to see it isn't really working that great for me. So I'm going to set up some static ones as well. So it's just the image, like just the cover. And then I've also got.
Are you doing it with like no cover on the book when you click through?
It's just the green cover when it's clicked through.
I would suggest taking that off for now, because like otherwise it looks like you clicked through to the wrong book.
Yeah, I think I might take that off. I also have got a boosted post going on at the moment. I know everyone's like, no boosted post, but I love just a quick little boosted post, because I did an ARC. It was like for ARC readers and stuff. So I did like a little ARC reader wanted boosted post, and I've had people signing up, and that's been, and it's been really fun. Like people who don't already are not already on my mailing list and stuff. So I'm kind of gathering people for the mailing list as well. And it's been a really fun little experiment this weekend. Yeah, I'm just like, it's just been so good. I'm just having a great time. Don't want to go back to work. But so to move into the actual topic of the day, because I could win and whinge. Win and whinge, they're the words. all day. I feel mental. I'm just so tired today. So apologies if I'm just like going off on a tangent. I feel insane. This week's topic, we are talking about backmatter and read-through. Let's start by explaining what those are for anyone who doesn't know.
So backmatter, I mean, I would say maybe think about front and backmatter together when you kind of think about these, but like backmatter is your important thing for thinking about like actions. So as soon as your story ends, everything that comes after that is backmatter, as in you're putting a link to the next book, you're putting a request for a review, you're putting a list of other books, whatever you're putting in there, author's notes, anything, sample chapter. So yeah, that's all your back matter. And then read through is like getting people to read through your next book. And people often talk about like getting your read through, like your calculations, your figures, things like that is just like what percentage people read through from book 1 to book 2. But I think today we're just kind of thinking about how do we get people to read through from one book to the next, and how we use our back matter to do that.
Yeah.
So yes, and part of the reason why we're thinking about it is because it's a thing that we're both put off thinking about. When I've done things like try and look at it online, there's just lots of really generic, not super interesting stuff about it, and it's not a massively interesting topic. And I think it's one of those topics where there's a lot of like, I think this works, this maybe works. So I think people particularly test it that rigorously, or if they do, you've got to be like a 7-figure author to really get that, big, not necessarily 7 figures, but you've got to be a well-selling author to get numbers back. Because like, say you change something, you want to be able to get statistical response on what you do. So it's hard to kind of find interesting to say about it, and the easiest thing to do is to do nothing. Right?
Oh,
It's just like
100%.
I do something and I leave it as that and never change it again. So I think we're going to have a chat just to kind of make sure we're at least thinking about it and taking some action.
Yeah, so I think, like you say, like you kind of set it when you first publish a book, and like most people, probably like 99% of people, don't do anything with it afterwards. Like it's so easy, or like it seems so easy to change the cover of a book to suit a trend, or to try and capture like a new reader's attention. But changing the back matter, or even like maybe like the formatting or something, you're just like tweaking something, could be just as beneficial. I definitely don't have all my back matter sorted. Like I sent updated back matter to my formatter for the 2 first books in my Wolf series. The third, like the final book, is fine because I was like on it then, because that only came out this year, so I already knew what should be in the back of the book. But for my first book and second book in the series, I tightened them up a little bit because they weren't great, but she hasn't gotten around to updating the files for me yet, so I haven't updated them. And that's kind of like the downside of having an external formatter, is having to like book time in, like, or get some work slotted
you
in
have
to
that
get
in there,
things
right? Could
updated.
you do the changes yourself?
I could if I like completely reformatted the book myself, but I can't edit the file that she's done because she does it in InDesign, and I can't edit or add to InDesign. So that's like
you
the
could
downside.
do, right? You have Adobe software.
I have InDesign, but I would definitely add a page and ruin something. I'm great at breaking things, and I don't.
InDesign is pretty user friendly. Like I would say,
I have
it's
used
not
it
like
before. But you underestimate my ability to break stuff. It's an absolute talent, which is why I do so well at work, because I have to test websites and apps and stuff. It's the reason I'm so good at that is because I can find anything to break. I'm so good at it. So if I were to do that to my own work, I would be so angry. I don't even want to chance it. So I need to get somebody else to do it. But that's I know that my stuff isn't up to scratch, and I want to change it. Something that I've been thinking about a lot recently is, I think we've talked about this either on the podcast or not on the podcast, about the things that I don't like in the back of a book, but I know is something that I probably should do. So I don't like it when people put like the first chapter from the next book in the back of a book, because I don't read it. I don't read it.
Some people
but
love it.
It does. I understand the psychology of it, because I understand that once somebody's finished a book, you want to capture their attention immediately for them to want to pick up the next book there and then, because that's your best chance. Like, I'm terrible for this. I read the first book in a series and I put it down, and it could be years before I pick up the second book, and that's bad. And I am my own bad reader. So I would
also say to myself, like, I'm not particularly any more influenced by reading the first chapter. Like,
no, maybe not.
Yeah.
But it just reminds you that
because I'm reading it knowing that I don't have to rush the book. So I'm reading it, but like I'm sort of holding myself at a distance. It's like when you're going on like a first date with someone that you think like they live far away. You're like, well, I won't get that committed. I won't get that interested because I don't want to be good.
But I don't pick up books knowing that there's more in the series, though. I don't research books before I read them. Very rarely do I know if there is another book in a series. I really am the worst reader, and I know. I do this with TV shows as well.
The worst reader, who I'm going to stubborn right now. I'm going to keep this person anonymous because it's someone who does not read the blurbs of books, who told me today that they were reading Demon Copperhead, the new-ish Barbara Kingsolver, and told a friend excitedly, like, oh, it's really like David Copperfield. Like, I think I've come across something exciting. And I'm saying this with like great admiration. Like, this is a good piece of like literary reading for her, but like, because she didn't read the blurb, she didn't read the blurb. It says an updated version of David Copperfield. Like, that's the whole point in the book, which I love. And it definitely shows that like people read books in such different ways.
Yeah.
Like, I would never start a book without reading the blurb because
I don't always read a
interesting.
blurb. No, I don't
I
always
quite
read a
like seeing
blurb.
like what it said versus how I experienced the book. So I want to have that like experience.
I have picked up books. The last time I picked up like a handful of books and I just went to a bookshop and was like, yeah, I'll get that and that and that. I read maybe the first like few lines of the synopsis and instantly knew by the buzzwords that I read, yep, that's the one. And yeah, I didn't read the rest to see like what was supposed to happen. I just jumped in.
Did you read the first like couple of pages though?
Nope. Never.
Okay, yeah.
Never. No. I just open a book and I start. Yeah. So I definitely do read differently to some people.
I think everyone does, right? Everyone reads differently, and some authors really swear by putting the first chapter in.
Yes. But I would like to try it. That's it. So that's kind of my point, is when you change covers, it's kind of an experiment. Like, it's a fun experiment you get to do. That it should be a fun experiment to change your back matter, and to try and like flirt your way into the reader's life for a little bit longer. So like, I don't know whether this is a thing in like mystery books and stuff, but like if you put this is just like a random thing. This isn't something that I think anybody should do, but if you were to put a crossword in the back of a book, would it make a reader like have a different experience with the book because they've physically interacted with it? And then, you know, it's just like that they're the sorts of things that I want to think bigger about what could go into the back of a book, not just like,
which I feel like is so in line with your strengths, right? Like I would not think about that. Like, I have recipes in mine because it's pretty in my most recent series, it's pretty common in cozies to have recipes, but I would never bake a recipe from a book. So it's like, it's interesting thinking about trying to put yourself in the shoes of someone else who isn't at all you, and also then having to judge, like, you can't really judge what thing in there made someone buy the next book. So yeah, I think what's interesting to think about maybe first is like, what is your current back matter situation? Because you said for book 3 in your author, you're like, I've got it, I've done it, I've got good back matter. So what is your good back matter?
So my good back matter is a
like, as soon as you finish the last word of the story, what's next?
Yeah, it is like sign up to my mailing list. So sign up to my mailing list and get access to this short story based in this world. So yeah, it's like a reader magnet, whatever we're calling them, warm lead,
a warm
thing.
Yeah, is that in the back of all 3? Is that the first thing that comes in all 3?
No, because I only did it for the third one because it was my good one.
But it, as in,
but no, I've redone the files and I have added that to the back of all 3 of them.
But I was going to say, why all 3? Because your books have to read in series order, right? So
yes, but it's a prequel, so it's more of it's just like a little added bonus. Like, once you've read any of the books, you could read the prequel, and just get a little bit extra scenery, you know.
But why are you assuming that someone's read book 1? I'm asking for myself, who's done this. Like, why are you assuming that someone's read book 1, not picked up the short story, and then they want to see it again in book 2? Like, why don't you use book 2 back matter differently?
Yeah, I could do, but I just don't think that well. I don't think that strategically. I just think in one lump sum thinking, and then just go for that. So I did in the back of them all. It's like, join my mailing list. Here's the short story that you can download, and then like, don't forget to read the next book. Blah 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 blah. And then like, if you want to read any more books, here's
what is the blah blah blah. What is it like in yours?
Well, it's like a picture of the next book in the series. So for books 1 and 2, they've got books 3 and books. The books 1 and 2, they've got books 2 and 3 in the back. So a picture of the cover, the synopsis, like, buy it today. And in the back of the third book, it has a read another book from this author, and it's got the cover of my other young adult book in there. So it's like, it's better. It's not the best. I definitely think that I could tailor things more. I'm not great at processes in general because I know that I don't think, I think very, it's strange because I'm so scatterbrained, but I have a very linear thought process when it comes to things. I don't think about the strategy of stuff. I just think about the A to B. If that makes sense.
I mean, also think backmatter is like particularly boring. Like,
yeah.
It's then comes after a book.
It's like, it's just something that I've never. It's like, I know that it's supposed to be a particular way, but I feel like, because I'm bored of it, I feel like other people aren't going to care. Because when I read a book, I get to the end and I skim through acknowledgements or whatever, and then I'm done. Like, I kind of see, like, maybe they've got a list of the other books they've got, and then I close the book and I just pick up the next book in my pile. So yeah, it's like a bit of a struggle, as a mental block, because I want to have fun things in the backs of books, but what fun stuff is there for young adult books? I don't know. To be fair,
and
I should
even, like, fun,
I should
right?
link
Like,
to my
what's impactful.
playlists. Yeah, I should be linking to my playlists and stuff, because I do playlists for the series. So I should really just
Why
be
would
linking.
you do that? Like, what would you gain? Like, because what's the objective of backmatter, right? Is to get people to read the next book.
Yeah, and I also just want people to stay in the world as well, and I want people to feel a connection to the world. And for me, music is the thing. Like, for me, music, the soundtrack to things is, I'm such a soundtrack listener. So for me, like, I'm really into making soundtracks, and soundtracks are my most played music in, like, on my Apple thing. It's crazy. It's all I listen to. I just listen to the same soundtracks over and over again. Over lockdown, me and Ghost Boyfriend listened to the Blade Runner soundtrack every day for lockdown. That's the first thing that we listen to every day. So for me, that's like a fun thing, and I would hope that other people like that too.
I would never in my life listen to plays from a book.
You're crazy.
Because I know, but I don't like listening to music when I read, because I can hear the lyrics, and then I can't read the book.
I wouldn't read it at the same time. I have to say, I wouldn't read at the same time. It's more just a vibe thing.
Do you put this playlist in the beginning as well?
No, I haven't.
Because a lot of people do that, and they have, like, really cute little formatted ones, especially like romantic ones, I think.
Yeah, I've seen it in books. I haven't done that. Like, I really want to get on it. I really want to have something, like, not that I'm going to follow the same thing every time, but I would really like to have little, I mean, this is just like a me thing. Every single time I publish a book, I have to remember even, like, the front legal stuff. I'm like, oh, where did I put that file? I'm going to have to put that in the front of the book. And it's like having to do it fresh every single time. I have to go to a book that I've already published and, like, copy and paste it over, because I always lose the file.
This is why I like the digital, because they do that bit for you. They just make it.
I really want to have preset pages where I'm like, oh, this would be a great page to put in book 1, and then this one is a page to put in book 2. So I need to figure this out, and this episode is all about how I'm just, like, proving that I haven't figured any of it out. And I haven't
either. It's so tedious. And I would say this is a good episode where we're just gonna, like, blue sky stuff. We're gonna just think, like, what would we like? Because I think it's easier to think about what you would like and what you might do if we have to think about actually doing it. And then we will have a subsequent discussion about, like, what are we actually going to do? Because I think those are two very different conversations. Because I think it's also useful to think about from the purpose of what we're looking for, like, what is my backmatter doing? Because I think different people have different. You should always be, like, thinking about, like, what's my number one goal and what's my first link that takes you to that. So if your number one goal is to get people on your mailing list, you should have your first link being to a freebie giveaway, right? And if it's to get people to buy the next book, that should be the first link. If it's to get people to leave reviews, that should be the first link. You should have, like, one big call to action. Yeah. And I think I am not fantastic about that. And I'm not sure I think about it strategically enough. So the reason why I'm asking you about, like, do you have the same
strategies? It's not a thing for me.
I think also, like, it's hard to think about strategy for, like, you're trying to capture people who think differently to you, and you don't quite know how they're going to think. Because, like you said, like, I don't read a next chapter. Like, I don't read the chapter of the next book because I find that unhelpful and it's not interesting to me. So I would never think I should put that in my book because that'll be great. It's not. I hate it, so I don't put it in. But people do like it. So I think, I was going to say, I was asking about your prequel or short story, and whether it's in all the books, because I realized, and for some reason I hadn't really thought about it. I realized maybe when I was like making the formatting for like book 5 in a series, I was like, oh, you know what? If they've not read the prequel by now, they're probably just not going to read it. Like,
Yeah.
they're probably just glazing over every time they come to a section of the back matter and be like, no, don't want to read that prequel. Or they've read it. In fact, if they were going to read it, they would have read it. So, like, I was just wasting real estate by having the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then in my new series, I sort of went the opposite route in that I always have the next book up for pre-order. So I'm putting in the next book.
Yes.
I'm afraid that I didn't do the thing that you've done where you put a picture in of the book, just because I did not think about that. I don't know why, because I books are for words.
Yes, I know.
So
It does
it's kind of
feel like
a little bit
a
illegal.
bit weird. Yeah, like it feels weird because you can put like the color picture in, but if you print in black and white, like obviously most of us do, it prints black and white, so it's just another thing to think about. But I don't know. It's like I've got a book cover. Why not smash it in there? It's just something that I would expect to see if I was reading the synopsis of a book. I'd want to see what the cover looked like. So yeah, that's like I agree. I didn't do it previously, and then when I did it, I thought, oh, like this is kind of nice, like putting a little picture of a book in here. So yeah.
So my latest series I've got, it ends straight away. It then says, find out the specific thing that's kind of like the hook question at the end. Like my books are always ending on like a slight cliffhanger. Like the main story is resolved, and there's a little bit of backstory that comes like, oh no, what's going to happen next? And then it will say, find out what blah blah in the next book. And I put the book cover in, and I'm not putting a blurb in at the moment, because I think that's quite a lot of space to take up, and I want people to also like click straight through to either you're going to click through or you're not going to click through, right? Like either you really want to read book 2 or you don't. I think at that stage, again, I'm sort of guessing. At that stage, I think reading the blurb is probably not persuasive as like, here's a literal hook that you already know you want resolved, so go and look at the book. And then I'm also putting in, each book has got a specific warm lead. So it's like, oh, you want to stay in the world before you read the next book, why don't you make a cup of tea and read the little like free giveaway newspaper that comes with each book, that's like the current newspaper of the town that they're set in, the village set in. So that sort of has 2 calls to action, but both are small.
Yeah.
And then when you get into my like author's note, then there's like, and also, would you mind leaving a review? And I do want all those things.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever put in like leave a review. Maybe like in my, when you sent to mailing list, if you feel like leaving a review, it's kind of like balled together, because we both obviously have very preconceived ideas about what readers or what we would do. I would never not leave a review for a book. So
I almost never leave a review for a book.
See, because it was completely different. Because the first thing that I do when I finish a book is immediately, like this is literally, I close the book, pick up my phone, Amazon 5 stars or whatever, Goodreads 5 stars. Usually it's 4 or 5 stars because I'm a very easy. I'm so easily pleased. I just throw myself into everything. This is like my whole life. Yeah, like 4 or 5 stars. And then I'll go on to, like, I also have this app called Literal, which not many people use, and it's a little bit more janky and upcoming. But I review books on there, and if they're not on there, I'll add them. So I'm doing my whole librarian bit. Like,
yeah, I will put a link into Literal. That sounds exciting.
Yeah, like that's the first thing that I do. And then I'll go and see if there are other books, and then if there are, I'll add them to my want to read list. Like I do the whole thing.
You're like the dream reader.
Yes. So like I am doing some good things, and I always assume that that's what other people do, and I know it's not. So I never think to put like, don't forget to leave a review, blah 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 blah, because I think like surely that's what everyone's doing once they've finished a book.
Like if you read in a Kindle, like it's horrible to try and leave a review, because pretty much all you can do is leave a rating now. And then you think, oh, well, I'll go in later and I'll leave a review, and I never do.
No, you've got to do it immediately. Pick up your phone and do it. It's like a reflex. I don't even think about it.
Which one of us has got ADHD? Like, how are you doing this? How are you remember to do this? No,
It's because it's part of the process, because I've built it in.
Yeah.
I don't even think it's complete reflex. It's just like pick up the phone, open the apps, and do it.
No, I very occasionally have like a whole period of doing it, of like going through them and like, I'll go and like review a bunch of books that I've read just to be good.
Oh,
no.
Oh no.
I
Oh
had NetGalley for a while
no.
because I wanted to check it out as a reader,
Mhm.
and I'm actually terrible at reading books to deadline as well. I don't enjoy it at all.
Mhm.
It feels like homework then. Even books like I got NetGalley books from some of my favorite authors. I was so excited to read them. I was like, well, I'll read that later.
I am great at doing ARC stuff, and I've got a bookshop account with like HarperCollins and someone else, because I have like my little online bookshop. So I signed up to loads of stuff, and I get ARC, like physical ARC copies for books sometimes. If I'm just feeling fancy, I go
Oh
on,
my
and
goodness.
I get emails saying, here's your selection of ARCs for the week, and I can just go. Like, this is so like, I know people are
This
scrambling
is
to get
fancy.
ARCs, and I have
Yeah.
like a little like slip in through like the back door, because I can just go and be like, oh, I'll take that, and I'm not.
Mhm.
I mean, I've got one publisher just sends me books, like, because they know that I like this
Okay.
author's. I know they know that I like this particular author's books. They just send me every iteration that comes out, and it's great. You just really got to.
Witchcraft.
Yeah, it is. I do have book witchcraft. So yeah, I'll go and get ARCs, and I will read them and leave a review on the day, because I love being involved. I love leaving reviews. Everyone else should.
I'm not really a joiner. That's the thing for me. Like, I don't want to be in any
It's
sort
weird
of
because
club.
I don't really like timelines for most stuff, but when it's
Mm.
for a book, I feel like that's important. I can pull myself together for that.
Mhm.
I'm a good
I
reader.
should feel that way, but no. But, but so, yes, so I do always put a thing in asking for reviews. But I think I don't feel so like, yeah, everyone's different, right? It's like I don't
Yeah,
feel like, oh, if I do this, this is definitely the right thing to do.
yeah.
And so many people are like, you definitely have to do it this way.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just maybe true for them. But one of
Yeah.
my KPIs this quarter is to improve my read through.
Mm-hmm.
So I do need to do that and think about that. So I think I want to figure out something. So I was trying to do some research for this episode, and I was like, looking for things like improving read through, improving read through across series, and
Mm-hmm.
I just couldn't find any useful, interesting resources. Like, they were just incredibly generic. Like, there's tons of stuff out there, but it was just like, have you thought about linking to your next book?
I
The only
know.
article that I found that was useful, there
Yeah.
was a really good one from BookBub actually,
Mm-hmm.
and it had got just like 6 different kind of iterations of doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And they were all really similar, but they were just like, oh, actually, it's quite nice to think about. I could take the same thing and just vary it, and just that's actually a thing I could do rather than trying to like reinvent the wheel. So, for example, it was like, oh, you could just put the blurb of the book, or an alternative would be put the picture and a short synopsis. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, those are 2 things to think about. I could try switching between those 2. That's a good one to do. A really interesting thing that they did was, talk about like, oh, you could make an ad for your back catalogue. Like, if
Yeah.
you've rather than just putting a list, I have a list. And I think a list of books in a back catalogue is so uninteresting. And
Mm-hmm.
I, in fact, have the same list in the front and back of my book. And I was like, I could do something different, like make a little ad for each series, because I've got 3 series in there. Why not try and do something a bit different? And I know so with another author, in fact, who has like a little, like you would in a trad published book, like a little picture and tiny blurb for every
Mm-hmm.
book in the series. I was like, oh, I could be trying that, and I don't know I'm not. Like,
Yeah.
I should
I
try like
do.
small variations.
Yeah, I do a little about the author section, but I stopped putting
Mm-hmm.
my picture in. Did I put my picture in other books? Like maybe the first books that I did. I don't think I got my picture in the new ones. But I always like to do a
Mm-hmm.
little about me, because I feel like, I am
Mm.
someone that people should want to be friends with. So naturally, it's all about me. So yeah, I always have about the author, and then like, and other books that I've read, that I've written.
Yeah.
But I don't. I'm still struggling to get people to even read the first book, let alone get read through. But I know that definitely I've got in the back of one of them, or maybe like 2 of them, is read this other YA fantasy book that I wrote, but that book never gets picked up. That no one ever buys that book. So that clearly isn't a viable thing to have in the back. It's just a waste. Like say, it's like a waste of real estate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I really need to, like, the fact that my formatter hasn't yet gotten around to updating my books
Mm-hmm.
means that after this podcast episode, I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to make a definitive list of things that I think that I should actually do, because I think I've just thrown all the pasta at the wall, and
Yeah.
maybe I just didn't need to do like a whole handful. Maybe I just needed to throw one piece.
I think it's really hard when you know that not everyone wants the same thing. So it's like when it's like
Mhm.
pick one thing to put in the back that's like your primary thing. Not that you can only do one thing, but like one real strong call to action, which is like I've gone for buy the next book. But should I go for join my mailing list?
Mhm.
I think no right now, because one of the things on our upcoming list of episodes that we're talking about that we want to spend some time on before we record is improve our mailing lists and like
Mhm.
improve our newsletters and websites.
Yeah.
And I think both of those I want to improve before, and I really need to do my automations, like reading my automations,
Yes.
before we do that. But I think what we could do is just, and for me, it is really easy. Like I format my own books. And
Mhm.
so there's nothing stopping me apart from the fact it's incredibly tedious and I hate it. From just doing a different trial. And I should do things like have different links for different places, right? To like really be able to track who joined this way, who joined this way. Again, tedious
Yeah.
and I hate it.
Yeah.
So I haven't done that. Or
Mhm.
I have at some point and then stopped doing it and I don't know which links is which, and then I don't know what goes where, and I can't be able to think about it, so I just
No,
ignore the whole thing.
I am forever trying to be that person who's good at stats
Mm.
and tracking and stuff, but I really am coming to the conclusion that maybe that's just not in my business plan. Maybe I'm just not somebody
I think it is
that
in mine.
focuses. It definitely is on yours. Yeah, I
Yeah,
do think that you're like doing a disservice to yourself there, because that's actually, you love looking at stats and seeing what works. So you
yeah.
should
It's just
definitely
like
do
it's built
that.
up into my head into a really big like task that I don't want to start. But if I actually started, it wouldn't take very long.
I'll
And
tell you.
I'm gonna
Yeah, go on.
I was gonna say I'm going to remind myself of the situation where this week when I started some ads, I was like, I just want to do a really small test of the UK because I haven't really tested the UK market with this new series because it's not my big market. But I
Mhm.
just want to. I've got a list in my book of lists of like a few small trials I want to do as like proof of concept, so I can make a proper marketing plan for myself. So I was like, you know what, they're just small ads. I don't need to use my big ad tracker. I set up this big ad tracker following like Nicholas Eric's system. I was like, oh, I'd have to like figure out, remember all those like which thing goes in which column. I'll skip it this time. And then I forced myself to use it, and it was super quick and easy. And I'm so glad I did. And so I just need to remind myself that like it's like it's the demon on my shoulder that's saying, don't do it. Don't use the organized spreadsheet. It's too much work. You'll hate it. It's like,
Yeah.
it's not true. I will love it. And I am self-sabotaging when I say that.
Mhm. I was going to say that for me, it feels like a big computer thing to do, and I'm always on my laptop. I need a big screen. I need a big screen to do big document stuff, and maybe that's
Mm.
maybe that's like what I need to do is I need
But
to.
how small is your laptop screen?
I
It's
don't
not
know. It's
small.
a laptop
It's not a giant,
size.
but
It's not big, but I don't know. I don't even know how you would find out. Like, where would it tell me? Let me see. It's probably
I think it's
like,
smaller than mine, right? Like we've seen them together.
it's 30,
I
13 inches. It's too small
that
for me.
actually that's pretty small. Yeah.
That's
I
so
think mine's
small.
like
So
17 or 19.
yeah, so like my computer is, I don't even know if it tells me, 24 inches. So what I'm on right
Yeah.
now is 24
I think
inches.
mine is, yeah.
My actual, like, my computer, this is Ghost Boyfriend's computer. My computer is next to me. I'm just like surrounded by screens. But that's like the big one, and that's the one that I need to do work on. Like,
Hmm.
I need a big screen. I'm that kind of millennial. I need to do big jobs on big screens. Um, that's a struggle. That's
Hmm.
really honestly what puts me off doing things like backmatter, because I want to have a Word document open that's like top to bottom, completely like the whole screen. I want to see everything. I want to
Hmm.
go like zoom right in and just be able to like move things around. You're doing it on a tiny screen, and it feels like
But you can do that because you're on your computer right now.
yes, I know. But I don't work on this computer. This is just podcast computer. Like, I'm so.
Hmm.
It's like such first world problems. I only do a podcast on this computer. I could work on it. I just don't.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm I'm in a weird mood.
Yeah, I mean, I have the other side of this room. I have like my day job desktop,
Mhm.
which when I leave my day job, will co-op to be my like admin computer because it does
Mhm.
have an enormous screen, and I really like having a big screen as well.
Yeah.
Um,
Got to.
Like, I would never book a flight on a phone. I think that should be illegal.
A horrible thing to do. Oh God, no. I agree. We're those people. We're that age.
Yeah, we're the elder millennials.
Yeah. Oh God.
But yes, so I do think say about backmatter. I think it's not even that I want to look at one thing at once, right? Like I want to have like 4 different screens open to moving things around.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I will mess it up, right? And it will I'll have the wrong thing in the wrong place.
Yeah.
Already, the files that are up to date for one series are in my backup folder. Like they're in the wrong place, and I don't want to move them to the right place because then I'll forget which one's which. And I know they're in the wrong place, so if I know the wrong ones are the right ones, then I don't know where to go to update them. But it's like no. But yes, like a list of things we could change about our backmatter that I'm thinking about changing. We're not going to make a commitment right now because we want to just like blue sky it. I want to improve read through actually. So one thing I found that when I'm advertising, because my book it's got a very cute cover and a cute name and the blurb is very good, I'm finding lower read through from book 1 to 2 than I would like. So I want to work on that specifically. So I could really just look at optimizing my book 1 backmatter for the time being and see if that makes a difference. Because once you're into 2, it's fine. You get through to 3. You just want the click link to book 3. You want the click link to the magnet for 3, fine. But I think I want to look at optimizing my book 2. So things that I could change for that are, rather than having a tiny little blurb, I could have a full blurb. I could have chapter 1. And what else could I have? What I don't have actually, that I'm not saying this is actually going to make a difference, but I don't have, and I used to have, is like an acknowledgements page. And I had them for like the first maybe like 10 books, and I was like, you know what? I've maybe acknowledged everyone now. I don't need to acknowledge everyone anymore.
Yeah, I honestly like. I know with Trad it's different because like they have a million people involved. They literally have to thank their agent's assistant's best friend who once bought them a cupcake or something. Like but to be fair, I do read them.
I love them.
am like, who would I thank? Myself and like the 2 other people that helped me put this together. It's very short, very Dullsville. No one wants to hear. I could just write absolute nonsense, but yeah, I don't really do acknowledgements. It's fine.
Well, I might try making my author's note more interesting because I think acknowledgements are very personal, and my author's notes are pretty impersonal. They're about like, oh, I live in a cute little village. I've got my cats during my newsletter, but they're not unique to each one, so you don't feel I need to read them after the first one, and they're not particularly interesting. So what I could do is put an interesting blurb in rather than tiny blurb, put chapter 1 in, and trial making my author's note more like personal and quirky.
Yeah. Like,
I'm not saying I will do that. I'm just thinking about it.
Yeah, because say like you're really good at writing your newsletter and putting little personable things in. You could obviously, again, this isn't something that you will do or have to do, but you could write like personal notes in each book about like your favorite part of writing this particular thing or your favorite character in this book, and that would be a nice thing to put in.
Yeah, and I could make it like have picture the cats in. Like, why don't I? If I put picture the book covers in, I could have little notes from the cats. I think I want to have a real rethink and not just treat backmatter as like, oh, the thing that I do in the half hour that I've got to format the book because I forgot I had to do this. Like, it was a bigger job than I remembered. And I need to do it before the Amazon deadline. So let's quickly shove this in, copy from last book.
Yeah.
I want to that is the real reason why backmatter is not interesting, is because it is always it's
literally the day of formatting is the day the backmatter gets sorted. Yeah, but maybe thinking about it as like being inclusive in like the product and the continued life of a product and the continue of the world. Like there should be like avenues to keep people invested. Yeah, I've just written in mind
and I have
like
always
playlist in this because I like that.
And I've kept thinking about it being like, oh, it's an enormous job. You've got to fix like every book at once. But I am just going to try increasing the book 1 to 2 read through. That is all I need to work on. I'm going to try and make this job as small as possible. and make it something where I could easily just tweak it. I don't have to put in a blurb for every book of the whole series and do all that and put in the chapter one as like do that in every book of the series. No, I would hate to do that. But just doing a tweak and then re-uploading and then maybe another tweak and then re-uploading.
Yeah.
I feel positive now. That was a good chat. I'm going to make some quick notes. Can you talk for a moment about your ideas while I make some notes on mine?
Yeah, I have. I've just written myself, obviously, start a new list every single time we do the podcast. Like the new list of what I've got to do. So in my book one, my ideas are doing a playlist, a link to the short story because, like, it happens just before book one, so it makes the most sense to put it there. And then chapter one of book two. I'm going to try it. I'm going to put chapter one in and see if that encourages people to then go on to book two. Book two again, playlist, and then chapter one. I think maybe like on the first book, start bigger and then whittle down. So by book three, it's just a playlist and a reminder to review the books. Like if you love this series, leave a review.
Yeah. In your new
just try
series, you're going to have different warm leads for every book, right?
Yes, and I will also be putting pre-orders up for the next book. By the time this first one's published, it'll have like the pre-order for book two will be up, so that will be a continued thing as well. So yeah, it feels like it's just like a lot more to think about, but at the same time, the only thing I really have to think about is the title. Like that's it. Just think of the title. Yeah. Like I can think of a title. I'm really bad at thinking of titles, so I just got to think of the title. You could also be
writing the blurb, and like I wrote the blurb for my book 4 before I like even started planning it because I had quite a long break between 3 and 4. And actually, it made it more fun. I was like, oh, I'll put that in. Okay. Yeah. I just thought of like the right sort of quirky details I want the blurb, and now I just have to find a place in the book, and it's actually fun.
Yeah, I should really do that. I've been trying to think of book titles for book 2 for months, and I'm like, nothing really feels right. So I guess we'll just see. I think by the time I finish this edit and send it off, I think it'll come to me. I think I'm waiting for like the end, and then I'll have an epiphany. That's what I believe.
We have got our mastermind day next week. We could spend some time brainstorming like a whole set of names because I like to have, because all my names are on a theme, right? They're all like a pun on a certain thing. So like I don't necessarily know the next book, but I've got like a list of titles I can pick from for the next one. Yeah. So could we find like a list of like potential titles you have to commit to now, but like ones that would belong in this series? Because there's a few books in the series.
Yes, I need your help. Yes, please.
Not that I'm particularly good at titles, but like I think it helps to just have someone to talk about it.
Yeah, no, I think you are. You are good at titles. I overthink it.
But you know that you chose the title of my current series, and also
I'm good at the. Okay, I tell a lie. I'm good at the first part, and I'm terrible at the next. Like I'm great at the first, like think of the first initial fun thing, but then I'm like, oh, but now I've got to decide what else works in that format, and that's where I fall down. So
okay,
yeah, I have faith in you.
We will. Yeah, we'll brainstorm. I can't do it myself, but we can brainstorm together. I'm good at title brainstorming. And then if it's an emergency situation, we can call my friend Amy, who does all my titles, because she's like a weird pun machine. I'm not sure she's good at other titles. Who knows? But maybe. She's on sabbatical. She's somewhere in Scandinavia whenever we speak to her. So I assume she'll take our call.
Okay.
Nothing better to do.
Title now.
Yeah.
Have that hot spring.
Sauna.
Yeah. Oh, we spent too much time together.
Yeah, but it's working for us. Okay, so next week we talk about something sort of similar, and like it's a practical thing that we'll both put off for a while. We're talking about alternative formats. What do you mean by that?
So this is something we've been talking about in Discord recently. Actually, is things like large print. So doing large print formats of books, or it could be like if you're only doing Kindle. It could be like paperback would be another format. For me, it's hardback books. I really want to get into hardback books for special editions, but also like audiobooks as well. So it's just like all the other ways that you can get that story out there into the world. What are your thoughts on this? Like, I know that you are probably closer to doing this than anybody. So are you coming to this with more?
Anyone on Earth or anyone between us two?
Than anyone, yeah. Definitely closer than I am at this point. Maybe, who knows?
Well, I don't know why I've not got one. So partly because I'm battling with Amazon over this box set. So
Mhm.
I was like, I'll resolve that battle before I start a new one because I'm going to start battle over, presumably, large print.
Mhm.
So I formatted the book. Oh, this is my last week's battle. Was I got Atticus in order to make large print books because Draft Digital, it's on their 2025 list to do large print, but they have not yet done, and they don't have a date for it. So it's like, you know what, I'll get Atticus because then I will actually have it one day in case I want to do other formatting things, such as special editions. It's not super expensive, so I might as well get it. And then
Mhm.
people talk highly of it. They say it's very intuitive, and for me, it was not. Um, I am so spoiled by Draft Digital, where you literally just upload a document, and because it's so simple, you just click some buttons, it's done. There's only so much you can do with it, and I love that. It does like the copyright page, which is a title page for you. You don't have to think about anything. And with Atticus, you have to like think about all of it, like what font you want, where you want the page numbers to be. I don't want to think about that. That's below my pay grade. But anyway, but I did think about it for large print, and I made a large print book, and I formatted it. I sent my book designer the new spec for the trim and a few bits changed I wanted. I want to have like a large print sticker on the front. I changed the blurb to make it smaller, and I'm getting details for next week. But I've done it
Yeah.
all, and
Yeah.
yet I have not uploaded it because one fight with Amazon at a time.
Okay.
So it's on my list. So we'll go through details of that, and maybe
Yeah.
I will try to before next week and see how that fight goes.
Yeah.
Maybe having a new rant about dealing with Amazon next week. Join us for that. If you would like to sponsor some sweet cake to get us over the trauma of dealing with the Amazon help people, help very much in quote marks there. Yeah, we have got a coffee, so hop in the coffee link in our show notes. We've also got a link in there to Discord, which, as we've said, we've been chatting about lots of different edition formats in there recently, which has been so helpful because I absolutely hate having to like think about these things or find this information and sift through 15 years worth of outdated information and scammy people with like their YouTube videos and all the wrong information you can find. It is much easier just to find like the person who's already done it and ask them. So yes, come to Discord if you would like sensible people who are much more helpful than Amazon help could ever be, but
Yes.
cannot actually change the backend of Amazon. But yes, come join us there. Subscribe, like, that does definitely help. Give us some reviews, helps other people find us. We are growing slowly, so keep us growing. Share us with some friends, and do listen along next week. We will see you then. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
You've been listening to Pen to Paycheck Authors.
Stay tuned for our next episode, and don't forget to subscribe to learn how to write your way to financial success.